Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel, and I have not filmed a video in literally 5 months, I think. So I've been on a really long hiatus. I don't know if this is going to be the first video back that you're seeing from me, or I might be filming a couple of videos in between when I'm recording this and when I'm uploading it. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm really excited to be back. I hope to continue making videos here on my YouTube channel. I've always really enjoyed it. But if you couldn't tell from the title of this video, something crazy is about to happen to me, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I am going to be having 80 to 90% of my stomach removed here in the next month or so. I know, putting it that way is super crazy, but the procedure is called the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. It is a weight loss surgery procedure. Yeah, there we go. I just said it. Weight loss surgery. That's what I'm doing. And so I thought I would come on here and tell you guys a little bit about why I've decided to do this. I think I'm going to make this a little mini series here on my channel because this is going to be a big part of my life, and I'd love to document it like I've documented my pregnancies in the past. So I will be making a playlist. This is, of course, the first video that I'm going to be making about my weight loss surgery journey, but I will make a playlist. I will try to remember to pop it up there. So in case you're watching this a little ways out, you can go ahead and check out all the other videos that I plan on making. But yeah, today we're just going to be talking about what led me to this decision and why I've decided to do it. And also, I just really want this to be a positive place. If you think weight loss surgery is not a good idea, if you think it's the easy way out, please, I just really ask that you keep that to yourself. I do really encourage everyone to talk in the comments, but if you have anything negative to say, please just keep it to yourself. I really want to keep this a positive place, and just know that doing this surgery is not something that I just woke up and decided to do one day. This is something that I took a really long time to come to the conclusion that this was something that I wanted to do, like over a year it's been at this point. So this is not something that I'm taking lightly at all. I have done my research. I understand all the risks and all the benefits that I can get from this surgery as well. And no, this is not the easy way out. I hate when people say that. It is not. I actually heard a really great analogy about weight loss surgery not too long ago. Weight loss surgery is a tool, and you can kind of think about it as if you're hanging a picture up on the wall. You're going to use the hammer to put the nail into the wall, but you are actually the one that's going to hang the picture on the wall. So the hammer is the tool, just like this new tiny little stomach that I'm going to have is a tool. It's not the end all be all. You can absolutely still gain weight after you have this procedure done, but it is a tool to help get me to a more healthier me, which I'm really excited to do. And then one more little disclaimer before I get into the reasons why. I'm not going to be posting this video on my YouTube channel until after I have the surgery done. So today is May 21st and my surgery is scheduled for June 17th. I'm so excited about it, like I said, but I won't be posting this until after the surgery is done. I might post it the day after if I'm feeling really good, but probably not until, a week, maybe 2 weeks out, just depending on how I'm feeling. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're seeing this, I have had the surgery. So again, keep it positive. Don't try to talk me out of it, because if you're seeing this, I've already done it. All right, so now I kind of just wanted to talk about how I've come to this decision, and my struggle with weight for the last 15, oh gosh, probably even longer than that now. 16, 17, 18 years of my life. I was always a pretty skinny kid. I've got more of an athletic build. I feel I was never like super skinny, but I was never overweight. When I was in elementary school, I always wore like the slim size jeans. So I was always, in a very good weight range. And so my struggles with my weight didn't really start until I was in high school. My junior and senior year, I did start to gain a little bit of weight, but my senior year, I did manage to lose probably 15, maybe even 20 pounds, and I was looking good. I was really happy with my body. And then of course I went off to college, and my weight fluctuated a lot in college. I actually had a really unhealthy relationship with food when I was in college for a lot of it. And then my senior year of college, I ended up breaking my foot, and I was in a non-walking cast for I think a month. So in that short amount of time, I gained a lot of weight. Then after I'd gotten out of my cast and everything, I decided to go on Weight Watchers. This was not the first time I had actually gone on Weight Watchers. The first time was in high school. I didn't mention that, but I did do Weight Watchers in high school. But so then back in college, I did go back on Weight Watchers, and again, I lost a significant amount of weight, and I was thinking I was looking pretty good by my college graduation. And then ever since then, it's just kind of been this struggle. You know, you lose and then you gain, and then you lose and then you gain. And then, you know, just on top of being a mom and we've been busy, you know, we just make unhealthy choices because they're convenient and they're quick. You know, and I've done Weight Watchers countless number of times, you know, between college and now. The last time I did it was in 2015. If you remember, if you've been watching my beauty videos, I talked about that sometimes in those videos back then, and how I was doing really good. I ended up losing like over 30 pounds, I think, at that point. And then in 2017, I got pregnant with my daughter. So I gained all of it back. And at this point, I'm sitting pretty much where I started in 2015. But yeah, I think it's definitely, like I said, time to make a change. And as far as like when I first heard about weight loss surgery, I probably heard about gastric bypass back in like the late 90s. I think that's when it was starting to come into just being a popular procedure, because before that, I don't think it really was. But I remember back in like 2003, 2004, when I was in college, I read a magazine and there was an ad for the lap band in the magazine. And I remember thinking that was the coolest thing ever. Like, it's not for people who are like super morbidly obese. It's for people who have a little bit of extra weight that they want to lose, and they're not altering your stomach in any way. It's removable. That sounds like an awesome idea to me. So of course, back in college when I first heard about the lap band, even though I had struggled with my weight a little bit, I knew I didn't need it then, but it was something that I kind of stored back in the back of my brain. And it's kind of, you know, every so often I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, that'd be kind of cool, but I was never ever serious about it until 2017, after I had my daughter. Towards the end of 2017, I was having a lot of blood pressure problems. And actually, to back up a bit, I did actually start having blood pressure issues back when I was pregnant with my son in 2011. So for the better part of the last 8 years, I've been on blood pressure medication. After I had my daughter, I was off of it for a little bit, but then my blood pressure kind of just went insane at the end of the year, like I said, and I was actually hospitalized because I'd gone to the ER. Actually, I'd gone to the ER twice. The first time they just gave me medication, sent me home. Second time I went in and I complained that my chest was tight, which is of course a really big red flag when you're in the ER. So they kept me overnight, they gave me a stress test and all of that stuff, and that all came back normal. But ever since then, I've been on 3 blood pressure medications, which is really, really not fun, especially with all the recalls that have been happening lately. I don't know if you've been hearing about that on the news, but I feel like every other day, basically, for the last 4 or 5 months, there's a new blood pressure medication that has been recalled. And one of mine, I was actually on 2 pills. One of them was like a combination pill. It had 2 different medications on that. But now I'm on 3 pills because the combination pill that I was on was recalled. So that's just super concerning. I would love to be able to get off my blood pressure medication. So that's really one of the catalysts that has really motivated me to get this surgery, is to just not have to be on this blood pressure medication anymore. So then after all of those blood pressure problems that I was having at the end of 2017, it really started to make me think a little bit more seriously about weight loss surgery. And I still really wasn't 100% ready to commit at that point. But over the next year or so, I really kind of just every so often would mull it over. I didn't really do any research about it, didn't think too much about it, but I was just thinking about the lap band. Like at that point still, I was thinking that that was going to be the best option for me, not knowing anything about it other than, you know, it was restrictive and it was not permanent. And that, again, were 2 things that sounded really great to me. So then after about a year of mulling it over, back in November, so November of 2018, I decided that it was time to get a little bit more serious about looking into this. So I started to look up different surgeons in my area. I started to look up the different types of surgeries that were available. And so I spent a lot of time like going on YouTube and listening to different people talk about their surgeries, and looking up success stories and just all kinds of stuff like that. And at that point, I kind of got a little bit more concerned about the lap band. I had seen a couple of people, or most people, I guess, on the internet who were talking about lap bands, how they hated them. And that was, I don't know, to me, just the lap band in my mind still just seems like such an awesome idea. But they were saying, you know, it can slip, so it doesn't work at all. It can slip, so you can't eat anything. It can cause sores on your stomach. But I was always kind of, you know, taking all of that with a grain of salt because I really, really wanted the lap band. But I was really taking all of these stories with a little bit of a grain of salt, because aren't you like 100 times more likely to talk negatively about something on the internet if you don't like it versus when you love it? So I was thinking that there was just like all this influx of people that didn't like it because they're talking about it on the internet and not because of like the general population that has them. But I was keeping an open mind, and I was, you know, looking into the sleeve as well, and even gastric bypass and what's the I can never say it right. The duodenal switch. It's something like that. That one's not nearly as popular as the other three, but there is another option out there, just so you know. So then sometime late last year when I was doing my research, I came across the surgeon that I decided to go with. And I'll just tell you guys, the practice that I'm going with is called BMI Surgery, and they are out of Silver Cross Hospital in New Lenox, Illinois. I just got a really good vibe from them from just reading about them on the internet. But of course I did do some other research, and I know that there's another practice out of Little Company of Mary up in Evergreen Park. So both New Lenox and Evergreen Park are about a half hour away from me, just like completely opposite directions. Like I said, I got a really good vibe from BMI Surgery just based on their website alone, pretty much, and based on the different testimonials that I had read from their patients. And one thing I didn't like about the other practice that I was considering was a lot of the stuff, it seemed like some of the classes and stuff were going to be actually in the city of Chicago, and I hate driving in the city. I think they're partnered with Loyola Hospital, maybe one of the big hospitals. So I think some of the stuff was going to be there. I was not interested in doing that. So I had kind of just made the decision based on what I had read online that I was going to go with BMI Surgery. But I said if I didn't get a good vibe from them when I actually went and visited, that I would definitely look into other surgeons. I was pretty sure that I was going to go through Silver Cross Hospital out of New Lenox. And to actually get everything started, you have to go to one of their seminars, and their seminars are on Wednesday nights. And that seems pretty standard for any type of bariatric surgery practice. The first step is going to a weekly or semi-weekly seminar that they have, and then you'll get some information and do all of that. So I knew I had to go and do that. And I kind of dragged my feet on it a little bit, and it had gotten to be my birthday, which is at the end of January, and I still hadn't done anything. And on my birthday, I made a promise to myself that this year, 2019, I was going to get myself into that surgeon's office, into one of the seminars, just so I could hear about it and learn about it. Because at this point, I still didn't know if my insurance would cover it. I didn't know if I was really a good candidate for the surgery or anything. But I just made a promise to myself that I was going to get into a surgeon's office and talk to them and figure out if this was something that I could do. But then a week after my birthday, it was actually the day that we went to Disney on Ice. I woke up and I was like in vertigo. I had vertigo. I don't know what the proper termination is, but I was super dizzy that morning. Like I felt like I was a little rowboat in the middle of a hurricane. Like I was just like swaying, like I couldn't get my thoughts straight or anything. Like it was very, very strange. And then I remembered that I had not taken my blood pressure medication. So I took my blood pressure medication, and 20 minutes later, I was fine. So that was kind of a really big wake-up call for me. That just made me realize how dependent I am on my medication. No, my medication is not like a super high dose or anything, but apparently I'm very dependent on it. So I made the decision that I needed to get my butt into the surgeon's office to try and get myself healthy and do this. And one thing that was holding me back was talking to my husband about it. I've got to be honest. I wasn't sure what he was going to say. He's kind of the person that I don't know. I'm not going to say that he's not supportive, because he is, but I felt like he was just going to say no. I just kind of had that feeling. He was just going to like write it off. Like, no, you don't need to do that. Why would you ever think about doing that? No, there's too big of a risk. So I was kind of even contemplating just taking my kids with me to the surgeon's office, because he always works on Wednesdays and he always works through dinner. So there was no way that I could not take my kids to the seminar. So I was really kind of thinking that I was going to have to do that, because I was like, should I just go and not tell him? Like, I don't know. And of course, my son would have been okay for the 1 hour seminar. My daughter, who was not even 2 at that point, no, she would not have lasted. So anyways, like the day or two after Disney on Ice, we were just talking about our schedule for the next couple of weeks. And he says, oh, by the way, I have this random Wednesday off in like 2 weeks. And so just right then and there, I just kind of blurted it out. I was just like, okay, well, you were off on a Wednesday. Oh my gosh, this is a sign. I decided that I really need to go to see this doctor, and I want to get weight loss surgery, and I want to do this and I want to do that. I just kind of like laid it out all on the floor. Like I could not believe that I had just blurted everything out. Just kind of, I'm like blurting everything out to the camera right now. But I just laid it out on the line. I just really, at that moment, it felt like a sign, because he's never off on Wednesdays and he would be able to be off so he could watch the kids so I could go do this. And I do think I kind of blindsided him. He was really taken aback. It came out of nowhere that I said that I wanted to do weight loss surgery. But he was like, oh, okay, he's not 100% on board at that point. I don't even know if he's 100% on board at this point, but he was like, all right, go and talk to the surgeon and see what they have to say. So I made my appointment, and the first time I ever walked into my surgeon's office was February 20th, 2019. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video here. I am going to continue this story in another video from the time I actually got into my surgeon's office until where I am now, but this video is getting super long, so I'm going to save that for another video. Again, check the playlist, or if I haven't posted it, I will probably be posting it just in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. But thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I'm really, really excited about this new step, this new journey in my life, and I hope you guys are along for the ride. Please like this video, share it with anybody that you might know that is struggling with wanting to do weight loss surgery. Don't just send it to somebody that you think is fat. That's not what I'm saying. Send it to somebody. If you've talked to somebody, maybe this might help them to, you know, consider their options or whatever. But again, thank you guys so much for watching today. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!